flight and building a new life. This one will be a tale from the motherland. Go back where you came from. These and other derogatory phrases are often heard by people who have migrated either for opportunity, political asylum, or simply to find a better life. It is a global problem. In the face of economic downturn, political radicalization, the rise of demagogues, and now Donald Trump, many African Americans are considering moving back to the motherland. The year of 2019 marks 400 years since the first enslaved African was documented in America. Last year, Ghana launched the Year of Return, encouraging Americans of African descent to immigrate to Africa. This work isn't new to Ghana. In 2000, the country's parliament passed a Citizenship Act that made provisions for dual citizenship, allowing people of Ghanaian origin who have acquired citizenships abroad to also take up Ghanaian citizenship. The most recent United States Census shows that there are 42 million African Americans, representing 13.6% of the country's total population. The America West Africa movement is a norm for most African Americans, but how about to East Africa? I spoke to Kia and Tiffany Simmons, two entrepreneurs who traced their roots to East Africa and set up shop in Nairobi. They are now trying to aid many others through using their company Guide African Americans on to invest after tracing their roots. I was curious to find out how they went through the process and why to check out their roots.
My aunt did our DNA, and she used the process which they trace it through the Eve. And so this is traced through your mother, and it was traced all the way back here to Kenya. So my family is 47.7% Kenyan and of the Luya tribe.
Wow.
Yes, and we found it important because when I started coming to Kenya back in 2012, I could not explain why it was so near and dear to me. And so tracing our roots definitely solidify why we love the country so much.
There's been a lot of talk here in Africa about the Year of the Return. Why this interest in East Africa?
We were military, but we didn't work in the military together. We were civilians, and we were contracting, and we worked with a lot of Kenyans. We have a lot of Kenyan friends. So once we took to them, they told us to come back home and visit them. So we came back at home and we fell in love with Kenya.
It's great that everyone is going to West Africa, and I applaud our sisters and brothers that are going to Ghana and Senegal and Mali, the Ivory Coast. But there's so many opportunities here in East Africa. There's so many opportunities for African Americans, more specifically, to come here and invest, and it can be a beneficial partnership for both partners here in Kenya.
Let's talk a bit more about those investment opportunities.
Sure.
What areas do you see?
Real estate. Real estate is very important. We have a lot of our colleagues and some of the customers that we brought here on the trip here for our Karibu Kenya trip that is very interested in real estate. I think what African Americans, because of the difficulties Americans have in America with just owning property outright, you find it quite attractive to come here where you can own land that you actually own.
Well, to come home, just to see, we just brought 30 people here today. When they touched ground, they immediately started crying. That's enough for me, at least, just to know that we came home. And then the real estate is basically putting money into the economy here. And also now we have a place to call our home or a place to come back to. And now we can bring others.
This conversation can't go on without talking about Trump and his stance.
Okay.
His stance.
Sure.
Do you think that this has anything to do with Black Americans finding the interest to come? Okay.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, God.
Now. Last week, I literally called Tiffany and told her I wanted to, and you can attest to this.
Yes.
I called her and said I was going to sell my house, my car, everything, and move to Kenya.
Wow.
Literally, because it is absolutely ridiculous what's going on in America, and especially for African Americans. So
explain it to our audience so they can really understand the struggles that you're going through and what it really looks like on ground.
Okay, well, I can use a story that just happened 2 days ago. There was a woman that just was shot in her home doing nothing.
Playing video games with her nephew is what she was doing.
Shot, unarmed, for no reason in her home. And there may be no justice for that woman.
What about the economic opportunities as well for Black Americans?
I'm going to be honest, the economical, let's say that word again, it's not that it's against us, it's just the system is against us. If we can't make as much money, if we're not paid as much as the others, then how can we buy property? How can we, build a better future for our kids if we're not having equal pay? So they keep us on certain levels to keep us down. So when we come here, to me, it's welcoming. As soon as we see you, first of all, we fit in.
Yes.
You have no idea what that feels like to fit in. To not stand out.
To see people that look like you.
Yes.
Oh
everywhere.
my goodness.
Everywhere.
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. And when you come here and you have people say, Karibu, Kenya.
Yeah.
We love you, Dada. Bring
That's
more.
unheard of.
That's unheard of. So it's very attractive. It's very attractive, and it's a safe haven.
So for a question for the people that are watching right now that are interested in relocating, in investing, and what are your top tips for them?
First, visit the country.
Visit
the country.
Visit.
On World Views, we come here. This is the annual trip. We come every year.
Yes.
And then from there, we're looking into real estate and then partnering with other people. You have to tell us your business that you're trying to get to, and then we can work the ground for you.
How do you ensure that the locals here are also benefiting?
We employ the natives in everything that we do. We would not be able to do this without the natives. There's no way we would be able to be successful as a business here or in the United States or anywhere else without working with the natives. So we certainly employ our own tour guides. We employ our own coordinators here in the country, and we are looking forward to making Kenya our satellite office. So with that being said, we'll have to have a general manager here. We'll have to have a lead tour guides and so on and so forth. So we definitely, it's a partnership. It's definitely a partnership.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.